on up,
That
Tom
was
Fitzgerald.
Sunday. What the freak? What is that? 4 hat tricks in one day? What's good, YouTube? It's Marco! Back with another video, man. Thank you, Jesus, for allowing us to be here another day. Today we have week 24 of the NHL season, the weekly recap. You already know what it is, man. I have got to start I gotta start fitting these in so I can get them out Monday, but I don't know if it was, I don't know if he dropped it on Sunday or Monday, so I really wasn't paying attention. But we are here, man. Let's not waste no time, man. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're 8 subscribers away from 500. So hit that subscribe button, turn those post notifications on. Let's get into this one. It's heating up.
It is week 24.
The title said the NHL finale is making history.
Of the NHL season, and the best player in the world is putting on a show to make his case for the MVP trophy. We also saw a player accomplish something that hasn't happened in nearly 30 years in franchise history. You got teams and dreams being crushed with the playoff race, and we may have witnessed what could have been Alexander Ovechkin and Sidney Crosby's last time sharing the ice together.
Wow.
History was made this week, and it's all coming to a climax with the playoffs right around the corner. So let's take a look at what really happened in week 24 of the NHL season. Now, right out of the gate for Sunday, it is all drama. Out of nowhere, the Islanders announced that they fired head coach.
Whoa! About 75% of my viewers aren't subscribed. So if you aren't subscribed, hit that subscribe button for me. Turn those post notifications on. It really helps the channel out and helps the channel grow. Now, back to the video.
The board with 5 games left on the season. I don't know what the hell is going on. It was reported that they felt Waugh and his system left Sorokin out to dry, so they made a change with them sliding out of a playoff spot. All right, so who's next? Todd McClellan, because Detroit is on the verge right now of completely falling apart. Must win versus Minnesota. They come out like they've been hammering vodka sodas on the greens all day. They're down 4-1 after 2. They got booed off the ice by Red Wings fans. They're sick of the effort, so McClellan probably goes back there, flips a table, Gatorade goes flying everywhere, and the Red Wings come back to life. 3 straight goals, including the game-time one from Showtime himself, Patrick Kane. The man is a hero for all but 30 seconds, because then he takes perhaps the dumbest penalty on Quinn Hughes that you could possibly take. Just hooks him out of the blue. Hughes goes flying. Kane goes to the box. And after all that, the Carillionaire says, do you know how much money I make? It is 17 sheets a year. That is why I bury these all day. It's the hat trick goal for him and the dagger as well, as Detroit loses again in what seems like the slowest moving car crash to end this season. It gets worse too, as the Sens find a way to win. They get a little how do you do from Timmy Stu. All by himself. Slick Rick beats Carolina.
Starting over 2 hat tricks is kind of cool. It's kind of cool.
And then Philly gets some OT magic from the rookie himself, coming in hot. Porter Martone, first NHL career goal on the power play, knocks the Islanders out of the 3rd Metro spot as the
Hurricanes, of course, already clinched. Penguins, Flyers, damn.
Flyers move right in. That means as of right now, round 1 could be the Battle of Pennsylvania, which in that case, I'm running through a wall. There is also the possibility the Caps sneak in too, which would give us our final playoff matchup between Sidney Crosby and Alex Ovechkin, which would be purely scripted. But the Caps get absolutely shit pumped 8-1 by the Rangers, with Will Cooley getting a...
By the Rangers? Rangers not playing that good right now, are they?
Hattie. Now, speaking of Pittsburgh, Sid the middle-aged man.
Was that another hat trick?
Cooley getting a hattie. Now, speaking of Pittsburgh, Sid the middle-aged man, 3-point night against the Panthers, and now the 21st point per game season of his career, which is an NHL record. The sustained consistency is nuts, and after everyone had them as a lottery team last year, they're now just 1 win away from clinching a playoff spot. The hashtag Save Sid movement is officially over. The Habs finally lost. They got shut out by New Jersey, meaning everyone's got to wait 1 more game for Caulfield to hit 50. Meanwhile, in the West, we had the Blues versus the Avs. It is lottery pick or playoffs for St. Louis. Pretty good choice if you ask me. That is the West right now, baby. And if you remember, Robert Thomas was rumored to be on the block around the trade deadline, and right now this guy is on a tear. He gets a hat trick in this game, including the game.
Dude, what is with the hat tricks? Dang.
Game winner in the dying minutes of a tie game. Look at this toe drag from Jimmy Snuggeroo. What a last name and what a move, sending Natchez into the concession stand. Beats Thomas for the winner after. That win puts the Blues just 3 points back of a playoff spot and 4 points ahead of 30th place in the NHL. I know, it makes no sense, but that is the NHL this season. The more you try and figure it out, the less you understand. On to Monday and step on up.
That
Tom
was Sunday. What the freak? What was that? 4 hat tricks in one day?
Harold, you are next to be fired. The Devils move on from what has been a frustrating era. Lots of talent, lots of injuries, and lots of expectations that weren't met, so he's gone. The first game, though, was Sabres versus Lightning. Last time these two teams played one another, it was the game of the year. 5 fights, over 100 penalty minutes. Hagel went at Dahlin to become public enemy #1, and the Saberhood took it personally. They slapped his face on a punching bag and just started teeing off on it outside of the stadium. God, this place is based on a punching bag and just started teeing off on it outside of the stadium. God, this place is going to be a riot during the playoffs. We got fans just dousing themselves in beer because why the hell not? The Sabres are in the dance and they're damn good. Another brawl breaks out. Everyone on the ice is involved. It was a Thoit one all the way through, but then Jason Zucker, tippy long stockings for the game winner, which ties them with Tampa for the division lead. Then we go out west for the night. Very few teams
I would have never expected that from Buffalo. I'm low-key happy for them.
Have royally stunk as bad as the Kraken post-deadline. If Bobby McMahon isn't Bobby McDavid, they ain't scoring. The Jets come in and spank them 6-2 with the secret assassin Cal Connor.
Jets? Oh my goodness. Please tell me that wasn't just one dude. No way. 2, 4, 6, 7. He got one in his hand. 8? No way, Buddy sack. Buddy, I'm hoping he split it with this guy or this guy. There's no way.
Having himself a game. 2 goals for him. They pretty much eliminate Seattle while being back 3 points of a playoff spot. That puts pressure on the Sharks to get their gimme game against the Bedards. Yeah, it's Connor Bedard versus Macklin Celebrini. Watch this violent run-in they have with each other. Bedard gets near the goalie and Celebrini grabs him and just slowly pushes him away. 10 refs skating to the frame just in case things got out of hand there. Almost did. But both guys pick up an assist in this one. Celebrini, though, sets up the Fresh Prince of San Jose himself. Will Smith gets the game winner, and the Sharks jump to 81 points, what puts them in a 3-way tie with LA and Nashville. The issue for them is that the Kings and Preds are going mano a mano. Now, if there's any argument for the NHL to get a new point system, the LA Kings are a prime example. In 76 games, they only have 19 regulation wins. That's it. And they're still in the mix for a playoff spot. They don't know how to end a game in regulation, so of course, this goes to a shootout. Both teams get their pity point. Kempe buries his shot, which leaves Luke Evangelista to tie it backhand, forehand, forgets the puck. Love that move. It's my go-to in beer league. Kings take it, and with that win, move into the last wild card spot to end Monday. Now, before Tuesday, it is that time, ladies and gentlemen. This video is brought to you by our, I'll tell you right now, if you're thinking of going with SeatGeek. Now we go to Tuesday, where we can track some of the wild card teams in the East in the mix here. All of Detroit, Philly, Ottawa, and Columbus were playing, so buckle up. The biggest one was between Columbus and Detroit. The Red Wings may be one of the biggest laughingstocks in the league right now if they choke this. They blew it last game, and they have a chance of redemption in this one. They're up 3-2 with 20 seconds left. All they have to do is kill the clock, and you can't make this up. Adam Fantilli with the cannon ties the game up. Red Wings fans are wondering if they're cursed because it goes to a shootout and Zach Werenski right in the cupboards for the winner. Detroit is going to choke this for the 4th year in a row. It looks like it is honestly impressive at this point. I think out of all those teams, though, the Ottawa Senators are the most legit. I don't think any one seed wants any part of them with how they control games. Their advanced numbers are off the charts, and they win big against Tampa 6-2. The Atlantic Division is an absolute gauntlet. gauntlet. But all of a sudden, the team that can sneak in out of nowhere is the Philadelphia Flyers. They have a backdoor entranceway through the Metro Division. Trevor Zegras comes up big against New Jersey with 2 goals, and they officially send the Devils to Travago to start booking trips to Cancun because they're officially eliminated from.
Oh, that sucks, man. We've reacted to so many Devils games. Dang, that's crazy.
Playoff contention. Meanwhile, the Panthers continue one hell of a tank job. Check this out. 30 seconds left. They have the lead, and Lane Hudson shows the patience of a monk. Gets the goalie swimming like he's in the kiddie pool, and then feeds Suzuki to tie the game. You know Montreal's taking it after that. Now it's them, Lightning, and the Sabres all tied with 102 points.
Wow.
That basically means Boston's chances of a top 3 spot are pretty much cooked, but they're in the wild card 1 spot, which means this game against Carolina could potentially be a first-round matchup. So Boston makes a call to the Geek Squad. 0 goals in his last 17 games, but in this one, he gets a hat trick.
Morgan Geeky, he one of my one of my favorites, dog. He go crazy.
The Metro Division title is on the line here for Carolina, so they tied this at 5s. And look at this pass here from Sebastian Aho in overtime. Threads the needle like a granny on a quiet afternoon. What a feed to Jacob Slavin, who gets his first of the year. Hurricanes officially clinched the Metro. Couple things getting decided here tonight, too. Here's Wyatt Johnson faking in the middle, then going backhand upper deck for the winner. That
Wyatt Johnston. One of my favorites, too.
Officially clinches a series between the Wild and Stars, which is going to be a war in the first round. The Avalanche, though, avoid that completely thanks to an is going to be a war in the first round. That officially clinches a series between the Wild and Stars, which is going to be a war in the first round.
No. That's going to be a first round game? No. I feel like those are 2 teams that you got to put them. I want to see them play different teams, and then they match up in the finals right before they go to the stand. You know, these 2. That's gonna, dude. That's a hard first round series, bro, for either team.
The Avalanche, though, avoid that completely thanks to an unbelievable first half of the season. But now they're out here performing Cirque du Soleil. Nichushkin, shorthanded first half in the first round. The Avalanche, though, avoid that completely thanks to an unbelievable first half of the season.
Wait, so they won't have to play in the first round? I need to check. Actually, yeah, this what we doing. Middle of the game. Middle of the video, this what we do, man. I want to see it. Damn, that's just 4 days ago. Dang, I need 2 days ago. Dude, what kind of picture is that? This is okay. Okay, cool. So, all right. Okay. Sweet. Avalanche, Preds, Stars, Minnesota. Which this is maybe changed because this was 4 days ago, but okay. Dude, Sabres and the Bruins. Ooh, that'd be crazy first round series. Canadians and Lightning too. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Hurricane Senators. Ooh, I think I would like that Penguins and Flyers, okay. Ducks versus Vegas would be crazy. I don't know who I would think would win that. Oilers and the Mammoths. Oh, I like the Mammoths, but I think the Oilers would take that. Anyway, back to the video. I'm wasting time. Sorry. Y'all couldn't even see none of that. I'm so sorry.
Slides the puck in like it's a curling rock. Slow as molasses. Avs win. Pretty much put the Blues' playoff chances on life support. That's happened.
Ooh, dude, look at this, bro. I want the Sharks to get in so bad.
10 times this season, but this may really be it for them. That's because Nashville is coming together at the right time. They smashed the Ducks 5-0 to knock out LA of the last spot in the West. And that leads me to this whole other mess in the Pacific. All of a sudden, Anaheim's forgotten how to win games. Vegas has Torts whipping them into shape, and they've played the Canucks twice in his tenure, so they're 4-0 under him, which means that the Oilers, Ducks, and Vegas are all tied for first in the Pacific. This is a big game for Edmonton
Wow.
versus Utah, who will face the winner of the Pacific Division. So sending a message in this game would be good. McDavid says, I'll do it. I'm just going to go ahead and say this is probably the SeatGeek goal of the week right away because this is just filthy. McDavid is going 1,000 miles an hour. Drives wide, makes
goodness.
This is just filthy. McDavid is going
Look at the finesse. Oh, check him
1,000
out.
miles.
Oh, fancy man. Oh my goodness.
An hour, drives wide, makes Ian. This is just filthy. McDavid is going 1,000 miles.
Lost him. He lost this dude right here. He didn't know what to do. Look, he just got out of the way. He didn't know what to do.
Drives wide, makes Ian Cole drop to one knee. He's out here fishing. He says, no, I'm going to go around you and drive the net. I don't think Vejmelka poke checks because I don't even think he thought it was possible that he could drive across the crease like that with all that traffic. All of it happens in a blink of an eye, and he buries. Hilarious. Seems like McDavid is good for one of those goals at least once a month. Now, in this game, Shanghai Jari is back in the crease for the Oilers, and when that's the case, you already know it's going to be a roller coaster, and it was for both sides. This was 5-5, and I got to say, though, I do like Utah as a dark horse to come out of the West. They defend well. They're a top 5 team in terms of goals for. Win 5-on-5. Special teams is a bit iffy.
My bad, Utah.
Down the road, but they do got talent. Specifically with their captain, Clayton Keller. So underrated. Gets the OT winner in this game. And with that outcome, it reminds us just how bad the Pacific Division is. The first wild card in the Mammoth are now ahead of the Pacific leading Oilers. The season is just all over the place. Now on Wednesday, 3 games on, big implications for the tank job with both the Leafs and Rangers are in action. The Rangers have Buffalo. They get beat as the Sabres take the top spot in the Atlantic while the Leafs season from hell continues. Anthony Stolarz just cannot stay healthy. He goes to make a save and tweaks something. He's in a ton of pain. One-sided movement, and he's basically out for the game. There's also rumors that it could be Ovi's last game in Toronto and last season, which I'm not ready for. The guy is 40. He's still got 30 goals, and he can barely skate anymore, but we just need one more showdown versus Sid in the playoffs, and that would be the perfect send-off. The Caps got to win this game for that to happen, though, and they do, shutting out the Leafs, and then we go to San Jose, where it's McDavid versus...
I think I want to say... No, I don't know if I seen because I thought the Oilers, the Sharks won this, but I can't.
Celebrini, pretty much a must-win for the Sharks, and right away it's the kid setting the tone. Celebrini, power play, puts one up on the board. Everyone's saying he's the next up generational talent. McDavid says, "Hold the phone, kid." It's just a total takeover of this game. Watch him get a step here, and he just drives the net like it's a Sunday leisure skate. He scored 2 more for the hat trick, picked up another 2 assists for a ridiculous 5-point night. It may honestly be the performance that wins him the MVP trophy. There's a lot of good arguments for other players too. Celebrini is one of them, but McDavid is so outrageously good that voters and fans in general have gotten used to his greatness. It's expected at this point. He may hit 50 goals. He leads the league in points, and let's be honest, Edmonton would probably be in the dumps if he wasn't on the team. The Oilers win 5-2 to leave San Jose's playoff chances on life support heading in to Thursday. Now, Thursday, we're high-stepping out of the gate here. Pete DeBoer makes his coaching debut versus the Leafs. The Islanders' playoff chances are hanging on by a thread right now, but they're blessed to have Matthew Schaefer. He scores his 23rd goal of the season to tie Brian Leetch for the most goals by a rookie D-man. So that means New York takes their free 2 points.
Damn! This is disgusting work right here. Oh my goodness. Let's just say a quick prayer for the goalie right now. What was this, Wall? A quick prayer for him. Golly. And they only got 2 goals out of it. Shit.
Over the Leafs in a must-win. It's also looking like Buonanotte time for the Blue Jackets. Hottest team in the league at one point. Get a new coaching bump under Rick Bowness and then have just hit a wall to go back.
Damn. Ugh, disgusting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oof.
back to their old ways. They get spanked 5-0 by Buffalo, which all but seals their fate. And I wouldn't be surprised if they find another coach if they miss the playoffs. Damn. They're all chasing Ottawa in that last wild card anyways, but the Sens are hot at the right time despite being a hospital. Thomas Chabot returns 2 weeks after breaking his forearm, which is crazy work. Florida is also on a generational tank run right now, which is good for the arm, which is crazy work.
I swear, dude, it's funny if y'all don't know basketball. This is really funny right here. This is really funny.
Florida is also on a generational tank run right now, which is good for the Senators. They hand Ottawa their 3rd win in a row, and I just have a feeling that these sick puppies are going to win the draft lottery and make the entire league riot. Now, give me a worse combination than the Red Wings and must-win games right now. They're also hanging on by a thread, and if you lose this game versus Philly, it is all but over for Detroit. A lot of noise around Dylan Larkin and his leadership. He's for sure playing hurt right now, but the captain steps up big time. Hat-trick performance. Mo Seider also had 5 points in this game. This looked like the Red Wings team that was...
This has got to be the most hat-tricks I've ever heard in a week, right? Like... I'm not tripping, huh?
This year before March, big 2 points for them to just have a pulse in this playoff race. Now, for the Atlantic Division title, it is an arms race between Tampa, Buffalo, and Montreal. So this game between the Habs and Lightning could potentially be a first-round matchup, and it was all drama at the Bell Center. First, it is Cole Caulfield with the catch and release. That right there is goal number 50, the first Hab to do it in 36 years. The Bell Center is going absolutely nuts, but we're just getting started there. Then there's a scrum, and Corey Perry, the 873-year-old worm, tells Lane Hudson to get off the ice, pal. The big boys are fighting.
Goodness.
Hudson doesn't like that, but he doesn't really want the smoke either, and Perry does this weird little jousting thing with his arm to just try and get under the skin of Hudson.
Yo, is this man trying to assert dominance? What's
the guy
going
is
on?
collecting pension and still mixing it up in the show. And then here comes Braden Point. He comes crashing through full speed at Jakub Dobeš. Nope, you can't do that. That's a brawl. This was 1-0 all the way down to the wire. And then Darren Radish in the final minutes with an absolute piss missile ties the game, skates towards the boards, and gives a little Kirk Cousins and Goodwill Hunting to the fan. How do you like them apples? The Habs say actually they're pretty good, because 30 seconds later, Juraj Slavkovsky jumps all over the rebound in front to score the game winner and snatch the extra point from Tampa. What a game, as Montreal sets Tampa back to 3rd in the Atlantic. And if this is going to be a playoff series, it will be electric.
That'll be really good.
Going back to the playoffs for the first time in 3 years is Sid the middle-aged man and the Penguins. Everyone at the beginning of the year had them as a lottery team, but that is exactly what happens when you piss off Sidney Crosby. They win 5-2 against New Jersey to clinch a playoff spot, which means we're getting back playoff Sid, which is exactly how it should be. Now, Carolina versus Chicago doesn't really hold a lot of meaning. That's why Carolina went the NBA route with load management and basically sat half their team in this one. But the story is still Connor Bedard. Another visibly frustrating night for him. There's not a whole lot of help, and he's coming back to the bench, slamming the door. It's another tough year for him and Chicago as they get spanked 7-2. Then we have the Jets versus Blues, where the former Blackhawk captain Jonathan Toews with the 1T for the game winner. St. Louis is out at this point, not officially, but it would take a miracle to get there, whereas Winnipeg is just hanging around in there. This win just puts them 2 points back of a play.
Dude, if I'm gonna be honest, if the Jets end up sneaking in that last wild card spot, dude, that's gotta be the most craziest comeback ever, bro. They were like out of it before the Olympic break, bro.
Playoff spot, not gonna lie, I wouldn't want to face last year's President Trophy winners in the first round as the 8th seed matchup. And if that's the case, they're going to be going up against this year's President Trophy winners in the Colorado Avalanche. They beat Calgary, which clinches them as the President Trophy winners, which as of recently isn't a good omen. But in 2001, the Avs won the trophy and then won the cup. So will history repeat itself? Well, We will find out. Another team that punched their ticket into the dance is the Utah Mammoth. Yep, who would have thought that giving them an actual team name instead of a Premier League name would finally get these boys in the dance. Nick Schmaltz has been one of the most underrated players this year. He gets the game winner, clinches a playoff spot, and that barn is going to be insane come a week's time. That is also a tough one to lose if you're Nashville. They were in the last wildcard spot in the West, and LA got to play Vancouver. Wow, what a gift. That's a free win, and now they're back in the last wildcard spot. Unfortunately, I do think that means that the 2026 Sharks Cup prophecy is all but over. Anaheim versus San Jose, and John Carlson gets his first career NHL hat trick at 36 years old. The Ducks finally win a damn game and pretty much bury San Jose. As for Vegas, it's been pretty good with John Tortorella. They're 4-0. Of course, they played the Canucks twice in that span, so really they're just 2-0. But the real question is, can they have the Fugazi label lifted? Well, this game isn't going to help their case. They had a 3-1 lead against Seattle, and they blow it. And again, guess who's scoring for the Kraken? It's Bobby McMahon. Bobby McJesus. Getting on the board means that Seattle's good for a win as they come back and win it in a shootout. Then we finish off with another first-round preview and what is the only locked-in matchup so far between the Dallas Stars and the Minnesota Wild. Minnesota was up 3-1 in this game. Dallas starts to come back, and of course, after every goal, there's message sending scrums everywhere. Guys are trying to set the tone for the playoffs. Dallas has no Heiskanen and no Hintz, but it is no problem. They got the RoboCop, and he's here scoring to give Dallas the late lead. Wild pushed hard in the third, only to come up short, and that pissed them off. So they say, screw it, we're not going down without a fight. Hughes and Rantanen start going at it. Goldie and Harley jump in the mix. This is just the preview, ladies and gentlemen. Dallas takes this one, but the real games start next week. Now, Gary saw all that and says, let's just settle down here, fellas. We're going to take a breather. We got no games on Friday, so 6 scheduling, but that means we're right back at it on Saturday. 15 games on, but only a select few matter, so let's start with Boston and Tampa. Big one for Boston, since they can clinch a spot against Tampa. Too bad they choke in the last minute and a half. 1-1, they let Lilleberg pick up the garbage around Swayman. Also, auto loss if you let a guy with a cage score on you in the show. Tampa wins and makes Boston continue to sweat it out, but it turns out they end up clinching a spot anyway, so all's good there. Meanwhile, it is must-win time for the Islanders. Right out of the gate, it is good there. Meanwhile, it is must-win time.
Ooh, they were pissed, boy. Damn, they slung them gloves.
For the Islanders. Right out of the gate, it is part 2 of captain versus captain off the drop. Tkachuk versus Lee. They did this a few weeks ago, and they do it again now to fire up their teams. But later in the game, scary news for Ottawa. Something catches Tkachuk up high. It's hard to tell what it is, but he's got a tough time getting to the bench. Just spaghetti legs. That is no bueno. We also learn quickly rule number 1 for the Islanders, and that is don't touch Matthew Schaefer. Ottawa tries to rough him up, and in comes Kyle McLean with a full-on spear, like prime edge in 2008. Just bulldozes him right into the boards. Ottawa, though, gets an unreal performance from Linus Ullmark. 3rd shutout of the season, and the Stens, despite all the drama this season so far, clinch a playoff spot. How about that? Moving on, we got what could have potentially been the last Sid versus Ovi battle in Pittsburgh, but the Penguins decided to go full-on NBA style, load management for half the lineup, so no Sid versus Ovi, just Ovi for now. The Penguins crowd gave him a standing ovation, probably because he's going to Irish goodbye from the league when this season is over. Caps are in a must-win situation against Pittsburgh's farm team. They take full advantage, and Ovi gets the empty netter because why not? Another last dance is Kopitar in LA. This could be his last home game if the Kings don't make the dance. But the Kings are actually playing some good hockey as of late. They put on a defensive clinic against their owners in the Edmonton Oilers. The lone goal goes to our...
Their owners is wow. Their owners is wow.
Teddy Panera Bread. 1-zip finish in this one. They were in McDavid's face and kitchen all night. They shut him out and get a big win to hold down that last spot in the West. Also, Kopitar thanks the fans after the game. Classy gesture. He gets emotional. The last generation superstars are starting to fade. That being said, the guy who still got it is Steven Stamkos. 40 goals on the season when he scores this one against the Wild. He assisted on the game winner as well. The Preds are the closest team to catching LA, and it's coming down to the wire between them and the Kings. It's also time for the Red Wings to pack their shit. A god-awful run in March and one hell of a collapse has put them in a must-win situation against New Jersey, and it's the same story, different game. They're up 3-2 against the Devils with 9 minutes left, and they blow it. Jesper Bradatui, the dagger that officially ends Detroit's season. They are booed off the ice by the fans as it's now officially a decade where they've been out of the playoffs. The Yzer plan has failed, and now we wait and see what happens next for the Detroit franchise.
That's rough. That's a rough beat. No, oh my God. I couldn't be on Twitter. So, oh my. I could be on Twitter seeing memes like Tommy Pierce.
While we're on the topic of giving teams their eulogy, time to pour one out for the Blues and Kraken. The tickets to Cabo are waiting in the locker room, fellas. You can check those out there. Hell of a toilet bowl we had too between Florida and Toronto. Who could be the bigger loser tonight? Well, who are we kidding? Toronto's been that for decades, and they had this one down pat. They win the toilet bowl by losing. So now, the only path into the playoffs in the East is through the third spot in the Metro, which Philly holds that down. It's them and Winnipeg having a Rochambeau, and the Flyers come out possessed. Porter Martone setting the tone. First goal of the game, he stepped right in for Philly and had an impact so far. Love his game for the Flyers early. He's got the opportunity to be a legend there if they meet Pittsburgh, and he just starts causing a ruckus left, right, and center. It's looking more and more like that may happen because they spank Winnipeg 7-1, which all but reserves their tickets for the flight to Aruba. They're sitting at a 0.6% chance of making it in as of right now. And looking at those odds, Columbus is still one of the very few teams in the mix. Despite Cole Caulfield shaving the ear hair off of Jack Reeves, the Columbus Blue Jackets come into the Bell Center and get a big win to stay in the fight.
Wow.
One team who can book their ticket into the dance is Vegas, going up against the Avs. Let's go to OT where McKinnon says, I got the pass, and leaves Eichel all alone to walk down Main Street and go window shopping. That is all she wrote. Vegas remains undefeated in regulation under Torts, and they leap over Edmonton for the top spot in the Pacific.
Wow.
That leaves us with what could be
Turns out it looks like it's a good coaching change.
Judgment Day for a lot of teams on Sunday, and this time we do get the Sid versus Ovi matchup. Now, here's the thing about this. If Washington wins, they still get a chance to leap Philly, and it's entirely possible we get a Sid versus Ovi playoff series, in which case we'd all look like a bunch of jackasses celebrating this as the last time. But this is a big one. Ovi, Sid, Malkin, and Letang all take a picture in the pregame, and then on the opening draw, Strome purposely gets kicked out of the draw, so it's Ovi versus Sid on the face-off. Incredible. Sid just snaps it back, though. He says, I ain't letting you win the draw. That's okay, though, because Ovi isn't taking any prisoners. He's laying the body right away.
Oh,
Two
my
big hits
goodness.
out of the gate. The Russian machine is firing. We go to the second where TVR, Trevor Van Riemsdyk, gets the icebreaker. And this was gutsy from the Caps, as it should be. They got to win this game. You got Tom Wilson to put in his cojones on the line, blocking shots, chirping the bench. The Caps shut down Pittsburgh. Ovi with a slick feed for the empty netter. And the Caps stay alive with a down Pittsburgh. Ovi with a slick feed for the empty netter.
Yo, yo, that's crazy. Throwing the whole stick is crazy.
And the Caps stay alive with a 3-0 win. Afterwards, Pittsburgh stays on the ice to potentially shake hands with Ovi, but he says, get the hell out of here. He wants no part of it. We're not doing this, because they could be playing each other in the playoffs next weekend, or it could be the fact that he's coming back for another rodeo next year. The fans chant they want one more year, and either way, what a run it has been for the greatest goal scorer we've ever seen. There will never be another Alexander Ovechkin. So now that means that the Islanders have to win to stay alive, or it's Cancun time. Simple as that. New York has Montreal, and it is just a blitz from the Habs at the start of the second. 3 goals in 55 seconds, and Nick Suzuki becomes the 5th Hab all-time. They had 100 points. What a year it's been for Montreal. The Habs send New York to Golf Town for the summer. They are finito. Fired Patrick Waugh and brought in Pete DeBoer, only to fall short. Columbus is right on that path as well after losing to Boston. These are the standings to end the week in the East. Washington and Columbus are the only teams that can pull off a last-minute switch. And out west, LA, Nashville, Winnipeg, and San Jose are all still in the mix. So What did you think of week 24? Who surprised you? Who pissed you off? And who do you think is going to be the sleeper going into the playoffs? Let me know in the comments down below. We got our playoff breakdown dropping this week, so make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you
Woof. That was a good video, man. It's highly unlikely that the Sharks are going to make the playoffs, but they still have a chance. Oof. Dude, oh my goodness. That was crazy, man. How many hat tricks did we just see in that one video? That was insane. But this video's already ran long enough, man. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn those post notifications on, and remember, stay peaceful, stay positive, stay disciplined, and always, always, always be kind.